So I heard you want to live life on easy mode. Well, it's actually completely possible if you knew this one secret. The biggest reason why you're always struggling at work and in relationships and why you are always tired no matter how much sleep you get is because you think you have to hustle like a man to be successful. And that cannot be further from the truth. You're just not using your feminine energy to its highest potential. Most people think that being girly is a bad thing and that it means that you're weak and submissive. And over the years, I thought that if I just worked harder and bent over backwards, that I would get everything I want and people would respect me more. But that is actually the exact opposite. I have never shared this with anyone before, but today I have decided to spill all my secrets and I'm gonna tell you why I became more feminine and how I was able to secretly leverage it to make my life easier. But for you to actually believe me, I'm gonna have to give you some context. I used to be a figure skater, and figure skating is usually seen as a pretty feminine sport. You have to wear dresses, put on makeup, do your hair, all of which I wasn't a fan of, but I did it because I had to. And so after 7 years of doing figure skating, I eventually quit, and suddenly there was no more pressure to be feminine or girly anymore. And so to rebel against my old identity, I decided to become a tomboy. I would literally buy boys' clothes from the store and take things from my brother's closet. This lasted throughout middle school and high school, and because of my odd style, girls didn't really want to talk to me, and I didn't put any effort in being friends with them either. I was a pretty late bloomer too, and so physically and emotionally, I just didn't fit in with other girls. But everything changed when I went to college, and suddenly I felt really behind. This was around the time that being attractive to the opposite sex became very important. Like, it was almost a social currency, that your ability to pull guys equated to how popular you were. A lot of girls around me also started to form cliques and hang out with each other, and suddenly I felt very alone and isolated. That feminine connection was what I really wanted, but never seemed to grasp. I wasn't really into makeup or fashion or girly stuff, but over time I forced myself to be interested in them in order to win friends. So after years of acting girly and trying to fit in, and after thousands of dollars spent on makeup, clothes, and jewelry, I realized that none of those things are what actually make you feminine. It's your mindset and behavior. And so these are the internal shifts that I made that transformed my life and the way people treated me. The first mindset shift you need to make is to receive more. Or a lot of people use the phrase, attract, not chase. Ladies, you are the magnet, not the dog. You need to operate from a place of ease and confidence, not a place of desperation or scarcity. Chasing creates resistance, while attracting creates flow. For example, when you're dating, chasing communicates an energy of desperation. Somebody that really wants to date you will bend over backwards to get your attention. They'll send you flowers, text you constantly, cancel all their plans just to see you, etc. Usually that kind of desperation is a turnoff and will actually push you away from that person. But when you attract, you simply embody what you desire, naturally drawing it to yourself without force. And that's why they say that if you want to meet the right person, you should become and embody your dream partner first, and then the right person will come to you. If you are constantly trying to force things to happen, but they just never seem to work out, probably a sign that you should just let go and let life do its thing. Not everything you want is going to happen the way you think it will. And you are only burning yourself out by pouring all your energy into things that aren't even in your control. No matter how hard you work or the amount of hours you put in, there are just some things that are out of your hands. So you have to become okay with taking the back seat sometimes and letting the universe give you exactly what you need in this moment. Now, I'm not saying that you shouldn't work hard and just sit on your butt all day long, but when you think and act out of abundance, you are not worried or stressed about what's going to happen next. You aren't jealous of other people's wins. You're not thinking that success, money, or love is limited and that there's some ticking time bomb attached to them. Instead, you believe that you'll receive everything you want and more because it's already yours and because there's plenty of it to go around. A lot of women grow up thinking that we have to be selfless in every single way and that receiving too much is selfish and vain. That is just false conditioning that was drilled into our heads to keep us low and powerless. Receiving good things is the best way you can empower yourself. Stop denying everything. Stop denying compliments, stop denying your talents, and stop denying your power. And while we're at it, stop denying help, especially from men. I don't care if you hate men, you need to start accepting their help. When it comes to manual labor, or honestly anything you just don't want to do, literally delegate it to other people. Real women know they're capable of anything, yet they allow other people to help them because they know their energy needs to be conserved for other things. This tip has saved me so much time and mental energy because instead of having to run around trying to take care of everything myself, I leverage other people to help me. When you constantly refuse help and bend over backwards, you are actually less in control because you're letting other things in your life control you. And that is how women stay broke, alone, and unhappy. So receive, receive, receive all the good things that come your way. And when you do, make sure you are grateful so that life will keep bringing you more. By the way, if you want to know more on how to tap into your feminine potential to level up all areas of your life, I have an exclusive community called the It Girl Academy. And in there, I have tons more videos just like this that will transform you into the dream version of yourself. It's not just generic advice, but they're proven systems that will actually make you become unrecognizable. And it's also a place to connect with other It Girls who are doing some amazing things. I am active in there every single day, so if you want more access to me, you can join using the link in the description. So the second feminine mindset shift that transformed my life is privacy equals power. This one was so hard for me to master because I can have the biggest mouth in the world, and when something happens, I just need to share it with anyone and everyone immediately. But what I learned over time is that being loud or overexposing yourself actually makes you less attractive and weaker. When you constantly overshare or talk too much, people will feel like they already know you and your value. Like in dating, if you tell your whole life story on the first date, every single trauma you've ever been through, there is no mystery or intrigue to you at all. And the other person can actually lose interest in you faster. Or if you're in an argument, it's always the loudest and most egregious person that is usually seen as the weaker one. Like if you've ever witnessed a fight in public, usually between a customer and an employee, the customer is always the loudest one and the most embarrassing. Because why are we yelling at the top of our lungs? There is no reason to be that loud over a toaster. Constantly needing to feel seen or heard makes you seem desperate for validation. Not only that, but showing too much of yourself and your life makes you easier to manipulate. Anything that you share, whether it's your emotions, your weaknesses, or future plans, people can use that against you. Or they might even go as far as steal your ideas. You never want to risk saying too much and then later regretting it. So when I learned to shut my mouth for once and keep things to myself, being quiet does not mean you're weak. It actually communicates a sense of confidence because you know that you don't need to show or explain anything to anyone. And this makes people take you more seriously. The other thing too is that when you're quiet and observant, you just avoid so much unnecessary conflict and drama. Like sometimes at work, there are people who complain or start petty arguments, and it would be really easy for me to react and prove a point with them. But I honestly just choose to listen and stay unbothered because one, I can't afford to tie my emotions to stupid stuff. And two, the other person usually calms down because they just needed someone to listen. So when you become a better listener, you become a better leader. Your life becomes more peaceful and stress-free because you aren't having to constantly prove yourself or force outcomes. And guess what? By making yourself private, you will automatically have that magnetic and intoxicating aura. People will be drawn to you and will want to be in your inner circle. Because once you make yourself private, you become very selective with what you share and who you share it with. And so people will make more of an effort to go to you while you're sitting back and doing less of the chasing. All right, now probably one of the biggest and most beautiful things I learned from tapping into my feminine energy is that it actually increases your ability to experience joy and pleasure. Everyone thinks that being girly means only doing self-care for the sake of beauty, that feminine women are just so obsessed with their looks and that they spend hours just on themselves. But what people misunderstand is that self-care isn't just about how you look or how other people perceive you. It's about making yourself feel good on the inside. It's about slowing down, being present, and allowing yourself to enjoy life instead of just rushing through it. So many people are caught up in this cycle of doing, checking things off a list, hustling, constantly chasing towards the next goal. But when you embrace your feminine energy, you'll learn how to just truly be without needing to prove yourself. You allow yourself to experience life in a way that's rich, beautiful, and effortless. And you don't necessarily have to be wealthy to live this way. Even just taking 30 minutes a day to slow down and do something nice for yourself is considered self-care. A lot of women have been conditioned to believe that slowing down and prioritizing pleasure is lazy or unproductive. The people who find joy and pleasure in life are 10 times happier than the people who don't. When you embrace your feminine energy, you basically give yourself the permission to enjoy the little things in life. Whether it's making a cup of coffee in the morning or taking a nice warm bath, you fully allow yourself to spend time only on you. You Also give yourself permission to appreciate beauty. This could mean having fresh flowers at home, lighting a candle, wearing clothes that make you feel good. You seek out and appreciate things that are beautiful. And there is nothing wrong with that, no matter what society tells you to believe. There is nothing wrong in wanting or indulging in beautiful things. I used to feel really guilty about taking care of myself because growing up, I was always on the go, focusing on getting good grades, going to a good college, graduating, finding a good job. And this idea of working hard to relax later became my internal anthem. But later never came. Because even after I had accomplished something, I would never allow myself to slow down and relax because my mind was always rushing to, okay, what's next? What's next? And over time, this led me to spiral into burnout after burnout to the point where I started getting sick and I couldn't even get out of bed in the morning. I was so resentful of the life I created. So what I want you to understand is that life actually becomes easier when you slow down and be present. Happiness is not just about the big milestones, but it's in the small pleasures that you allow yourself to fully experience every single day without guilt. Don't wait to become happy later. Choose to be happy now. And I promise you will be less stressed, attract better relationships, and be more fulfilled. So if you take one thing from this entire video, let it be this. You don't have to earn joy. You don't have to bend over backwards and be miserable in exchange for happiness. Feminine energy teaches us that pleasure and beauty are not just luxuries, they're essential for a fulfilling life. Start today. Start romanticizing your life. Stop thinking that the answer is just to work harder. You have to work smarter and leverage your qualities and the people around you to get more done. And I promise, once you actually accept your value as a woman, you will no longer feel the need to be accepted by other people. You will no longer feel like you have to bend over backwards and accommodate for others because that's what women do. Tapping into your feminine energy is not just about doing your skincare routine or painting your nails for external beauty, but it's about maintaining your power and energy so that you can spend it on the things you want to do. If you guys made it this far into the video, hit that like button and subscribe to my channel. And as I mentioned, if you like videos like this, I have tons more in the It Girl Academy. So if you haven't joined yet, click the link in the description. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.